taking you through your morning headlines. It's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
What changed defensively for you guys after you went up 20 in the second half?
Our offense.
Did you feel like there was anything that you guys got away from offensively in that stretch after you reached that point?
I'll have to go back and watch the film.
How hard is it just to absorb a loss like this after going ahead by 20?
Next question, man. The season's over. That's what's hard. Being up 20. The season's over. You don't understand that. The season's over. It's hard.
Nicole and Jamal. start to the show. And honestly, it's pretty funny considering the fact that we're having a moment of silence for the Denver sports teams here. So please, please, please let me know if you can hear me. You guys, we got a great show for you. So everything should be good. I'm loving the people that are saying the Wolves better win the whole thing. It's there for them. Stars are absolutely going to the finals and probably winning it. I always am on like the team of, yes, let's lose to the champion if they're going to go on to win it. So yay, everybody can hear me. Let's get this thing rolling then, because there's so much to talk about when it comes to pretty much everything. So you heard the Michael Malone video. He was clearly frustrated. Yes, I get it. You have a reason to. But to be honest, the reporter, Bennett, he had a fantastic question about the emotions of doing so. And it is frustrating. But let's start even before everything, because the things were going right for the Denver Nuggets. They go on a 14-0 run in the first and the second. Jamal was cold to start. And then boom, back-to-back threes in the first. You got this incredible photo right in front of the Timberwolves owners. Absolutely insane. The emotion on Jamal's face. You can literally see some of the veins and stuff popping out of his neck. And then you have the owner's face just like unbelievable right in front of it. Jamal had 24 points in the first. They were limiting Anthony Edwards. They had a really solid defensive game plan clearly against him. 4 points in the first half. Christian Brown, big time defensively. And then there's Nikola Jokic. Since 1997, the complete list of NBA players with 13 plus points, 15 plus rebounds, and 5 assists in the first half of a playoff game only belonged to Nikola Jokic. Yeah, he went 19, 16, and 7 on 5, 16, and 23, and then 13, 15, and 5 on 5, 19 of 2024. The Nuggets are 9-3 when he has a double-double in the first half of the playoff game, and they now go to 9-4 because obviously they lost. The Nuggets had a terrible third. They had the 20-point lead. Things go backwards, and Minnesota took the lead early in the fourth quarter and held it until the final buzzer sounded. They end up losing 98-90. And then there's Michael Porter Jr., which everybody be nice to MPJ, okay? Here was his stats against the Los Angeles Lakers, 22-8 or 22.8 points averaging. And then versus Minnesota, he's 10.7. And you know what? MPJ told the team that this was on him. Take a listen.
Roller coaster ride was it for you? I mean, obviously your family's gone through some stuff. How much of a burden was that for you?
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like it wasn't a burden or I wasn't thinking about it, all day, every day. But that's still no excuse. I'm a better player than I play in the series. I'm a better shooter than I shot in the series. And in the NBA, you got to be able to separate off the court matters with your on the court play. So I don't have any excuses, and I'll never be someone that makes excuses. I told my teammates, sorry. I feel like this is on me because I know if I would have played up to par for myself, I know I could have made a difference in the outcome of the series. So I got to live with that. I got to take that on my shoulders like a man, and I got to figure out a way to grow from it.
Denver's hopes of going back-to-back as NBA championships were crushed with the loss, and no team has won repeat titles since the Golden State Warriors in 2017, 2018. Also, no MPV winner has won the NBA title in a season since 2014, 2015, when Steph Curry was the last MVP winner to have gone on to win a title. All I can think about in my head is Nikola Jokic saying, I liked last year a whole lot better when we won the championship and I didn't win the MVP. I know Nuggets Nation is absolutely crushed by this. I'm sad. Last night sucked. This entire weekend sucked. We, of course, have to get into the Avs here in a second. But I feel you at this. It feels like the day after Super Bowl 48 or after the Raheem Moore playoff win against the Ravens versus Broncos. Like, this day is just not fun. I think we should all vacate or just say we need to have a vacation and move on to that. But the Timberwolves will now face the Dallas Mavericks in their first Western Conference final appearance in 20 years. Now, speaking of the Mavs, they are one step away from the NBA Finals after they finished off the Thunder in a thrilling Game 6 win over the weekend. After the Thunder took a 1-point lead with 20 seconds remaining, PJ Washington sank 2 free throws with 2.5 seconds left to clinch the series for Dallas. It was quite the comeback for the Mavs, who trailed by 17 points early in the second half. Luka Doncic led the way with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists for his 4th triple-double of the playoffs. Now, looking to the other side of the bracket in the NBA, the New York Knicks season is over after they lost to the Indiana Pacers 130-109 in Game 7. A little bit different than the Denver Nuggets game, that's for sure. The Knicks took a blow when star point guard Jalen Brunson exited the game in the second half with a fractured hand, and New York didn't have enough to overcome a 70-55 halftime deficit. Indiana will now face off against the top-seeded Boston Celtics in the conference finals. We'll move over to the other people that call Ball Arena home, and that's the Colorado Avalanche, as their season comes to an end as well after they lose in a double OT heartbreaker. Yes, in fact, Friday night did suck. The double OT, I was like, the hockey gods, lowercase g, are 100% going to give this win to the Colorado Avalanche. You have so many people out here. It's almost midnight. And then, of course, the one person who could absolutely just make that wound hurt a little bit more, Matt Duchene, is the one that scores the overtime goal to end the Avalanche series. The Nuggets and Avalanche went 1-6 at Ball Arena in round 2. We had lots of very depressing, and I'm sorry, there's 2 more to come in the Sports Office vlog. So buckle up, because the last 2 are some of the hardest ones for sure. I'm really honestly dreading editing them, if we're going to be completely honest. But what about updates on Valeri Nichushkin and Gabriel Landeskog? Well, in a presser with many questions about the disappointment of losing the season, Bednar shared his thoughts on the 2 potential key pieces for the Avalanche moving forward. Both make a lot of money, and the situations of forward Valeri Nichushkin and captain Gabriel Landeskog could not be more different. Nichushkin is suspended for at least 6 months as he entered phase 3 of the NHL-NHLPA Player Assistance Program, and Gabe Landeskog hasn't played since 2022, missing the last 2 seasons as he rehabs a knee that eventually went under cartilage transplant surgery. Bednar goes on to say, you're hoping for answers and clarity so you can build a team around them. It's obviously a couple of guys that have a significant cap hit. Landeskog is in the middle of an 8-year, $56 million deal that runs through the 2029 season, and Nichushkin's deal goes through 2030 and is for $49 million total. The Avs would have to trade him this summer to get out of Nichushkin's, as his transgressions aren't enough to void the contract. Bednar did say that Gabe wasn't close to playing in these playoffs, even though a lot of people were hoping that he was, but he has all the faith in the world that Colorado's leaders could hopefully return. Sticking with the NHL, the Vancouver Canucks won't have their leading scorer in the lineup for Game 7 against the Edmonton Oilers, which is just a huge blow. Obviously, if you are a hockey fan, Brock Boeser won't be available due to health issues, and the status for the rest of the playoffs is unknown. This is because reports are indicating it is a blood clotting issue, which is very scary. Sources are saying it's not considered life-threatening situations, but it's definitely a little nerve-wracking, if we're being completely honest right there. Move into the NFL now. Today, teams can begin OTAs. You're probably going to see a lot of pictures, as many teams are doing so, which is the start of phase 3 of the offseason program. So during OTAs, teams can run 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11, but cannot have any contact. Teams can also have up to 10 OTA sessions. This is the first time that rookies will work out with veterans as well, and the Broncos will start on Tuesday. So no Broncos today, but you will see them for the rest of the week. Now, Rockies schedule, I was holding off on sharing anything Rockies related because they were on a winning streak, and that winning streak, of course, comes to an end as they get blown out by the Giants. But they have the Oakland A's coming up for the rest of the week. So, yeah. How are we feeling? I appreciated all the comments. You guys were cracking me up with the moment of silence. Thank you for just hanging out with us for a little bit as we dealt with some technical difficulties. It's a Monday. We're all frustrated, and it is what it is. Let's see. I always love reading your comments, so thank you. To be completely honest, I'm ready to move on to the Broncos. I just don't know if I'm ready there yet. I feel like I'm still mourning, obviously, this entire weekend, the 48 hours last night. It just sucked. It was hard to be there for the double OT loss and to do that locker room. And then last night, I will say the one thing though, is the Nuggets players after game 2, that was really bad. They were clearly very frustrated. You had guys that were just leaving. It was very emotional. This felt different. Like last night in the locker room, it just felt like they were exhausted and they could finally have a chance to breathe for a second. While they were disappointed, like I'm not saying that's not the truth. They just felt like it was finally like, whew, which is true. When you go on to win a championship, you are going so late into the summer. You don't have that long off in between preseason and everything. So the Nuggets are going at it, and you are dealing with teams every single night that have a target on your back because they want to take down the defending champs. And I don't blame them. I'm sure they were probably exhausted. We heard from pretty much everybody. I think KCP is the only one we didn't get to hear from last night out of the starters. And I'm I was paying attention. You always have to pay attention to things. And I stand right next to the walkway where the players go back into the locker room. KCP's contract is up, so they're going to have to find a way to be able to pay him if they want to keep him here. And I found it very interesting that he called his family down to walk with him back in there. And I don't know if that means that maybe he thinks that he's not going to be coming back and maybe this is it for KCP. I don't know, but it was very interesting and something that I was definitely paying attention to. Let's see. Rachel, that was 2 a.m. here in New York. It was a rough Saturday for me. Trust me, you're telling me. I got home at 2 a.m. It was very, very brutal. I'm glad you had a tech issue. I thought I lost my hearing. Honestly, I said if there was any day to have this, today would be the day because of that moment of silence that we have. So absolutely hysterical. But you guys, that's going to do it. So thank you so much. Good job, Rachel. Thanks, Tom. I needed that on this Monday because, of course, this weekend just sucked. Let's be completely honest. It sucked. And there's going to be plenty more to talk about. James Marlette and I are going to sit down, have a nice little therapy session, get it all out of us, and hopefully be able to just look ahead and move on and find some positives in the situation. Maybe not today, but the rest of the week. So thank you guys for bearing with us with the tech issues. I appreciate you all so very much. And I will see you guys at 12 p.m. for an episode of Coffee Break. And if not, I'll see you right back here at 10 a.m. for another episode of Denver Sports Daily. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. Get back to work. Bye.